Hello guys, welcome to today's video. If you're new here, hi, I'm Erica. If you're not new, welcome back. So today I'm going to be unboxing a few Hoyas with you. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I got. Guys, so I just got this package in the mail about an hour ago. So I'm super anxious to get everything opened and take a look at the new Hoya I got. I ended up buying these Hoya from a local Facebook group. She lives just a couple cities away, so she was kind enough to ship these for me. So I've never bought from her before, so I'm super excited to take a look at these Hoyas and show you guys what I got. All right, guys, so I have the package sitting down here at the table. I'll try to lift everything up. So there was one Hoya that has been on my wish list for a while. So I saw it and I was like, I have to get this. So I ended up ordering that one and then I added on a couple more. So we should have 3 Hoya in this package. All right, guys, so I got the package opened. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside here. All right, guys, so that is what the inside looks like. They're very well packaged. And yep, it looks like there is 3. All right, so we have 3 Hoyas in here. So let me go ahead and grab one. So she just has everything taped up like this with a little bit of floof. Got the packaging off of this one, and here is the first one. I just think that is so sweet that she threw in this as a little add-on. So I can't remember what this one is called, but I'll go ahead and put the name below for you guys. It has that thicker veining, a little bit of splash. The leaves are a little bit thicker and waxy. I do not have this one, so I'm so excited that she included this little freebie in my package. I just think that is so sweet and thoughtful. So there is that one. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the other 2. All right, guys, so she has these taped in here really well. So really appreciate when sellers take the time to make sure your plants are packaged really nicely. They only had about a day to travel, but still, oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous. Oh, I love this one, guys. It is so gorgeous. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, so if you saw my last Hoya unboxing, I ended up getting another version of this plant. This is the one that I cannot pronounce, guys. I cannot say the name of this plant for the life of me. I don't know why, I just can't. But this is a different version of that plant. As you can see, the leaves are more elongated. The last one I got had a little bit of rounder leaves. I just think this Hoya is so gorgeous. I'm the type of person who buys Hoya for their foliage. Let me know in the comments if you buy Hoya for the foliage or for the blooms. I think I've only had one of my Hoya bloom in my collection, and I have a pretty good collection of Hoya, so I can't really say that I buy Hoya for blooms as of right now. Maybe later down the road, I might end up buying Hoya for their blooms, but right now I buy my Hoya just based on the foliage. And I just really love all types of Hoya. But this Hoya, guys, this one just totally blows my mind at how beautiful it is. I just think it has a little bit of everything. So this is definitely one of my top favorite Hoyas. I'm super happy with it. I think it is so beautiful. Now let's go ahead and take a look at another one. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So this one is called a Sun Wookie, and I will put that name below for you guys in case I'm not saying it right. I got a little bit of tree fern right there. But look at how gorgeous this one is. So this one's leaves are a little bit almost matte-like. They're not as shiny as some Hoya. So the leaves are a little bit thicker too and have kind of a smooth texture. I love the leaf shape on this one. This is the Hoya that I saw that originally made me decide to purchase from this seller. So this is the one that I had been looking for a while. So I just really love this one, and I almost bought it for probably twice as much a couple weeks ago. So I was super excited to find this one in our local Facebook group. So this is just such a beautiful Hoya. I just love it, guys. Yeah, I just really love that splashing and the texture of these leaves. I just think this is a really gorgeous one, and I'm super excited to grow this one out, guys. So there is that one. And since she included that freebie, I actually have another box over here that she put my other Hoya in. So let me grab that. When I purchased these Hoyas, she let me know that if there was any Hoya on my wish list that I was looking for, that she might have it. So I ended up telling her that I had been looking for a Hoya clemensorum. I'll put the name below for you guys. But yeah, I had been looking for one of these for a while. So she let me know that she did have one, but it would have to be a cutting. So I do have experience with cutting, so I told her that was fine. So yeah, guys, I ended up getting this Hoya cutting, and I'm so excited to share this one with you guys. I think it is going to be so pretty. I'm so excited to see what it looks like in person. Let's go ahead and open this up. All right, so it's in a little floral water vial, and it's taped down there. So let me go ahead and get it out. Gotta be very careful because I don't want to damage it. All right, let's remove this tape off to the side here. Oh my goodness, this is so pretty, guys. It's even more pretty in person. Wow. The veining on here is just so unique. Isn't that so gorgeous? Very textured. So the leaves have a little bit of that waviness on the edging too. And it also gets a little bit of splashing. It almost looks like the splashing is coming in a little pink. So I just love this one, guys. I think it is so cool. So if you are into more textured and veiny Hoyas, this would be a perfect one for you guys. I just think this is such a unique looking plant. So I'll end up moving this out of water and probably just propping it up like I do my other Hoyas. I'll probably prop it in some perlite and tree fern, but I am so excited to grow this one, guys. I think this is going to be a super gorgeous plant. So let me know, guys, which one of these is your favorite. If I had to pick one just based on the look of it, of course it's going to be this one. I just think this is so gorgeous, guys. So I'm definitely going to have to share this one with you guys and put some of these cuttings in my shop once she grows out a little bit, because I just think this is such a gorgeous plant. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get on with the rest of today's video. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my mess, and then I'm going to pop back on here and we will do some plant chores together. So I will talk to you guys here soon. So we are going to be repotting this Hoya Compacta. You might have saw that I picked this up in one of my last box store plant shopping videos. As you can see, a lot of the leaves are yellowing off, and there's a lot of rotting going on. If you look deep in here, you can see a lot of the leaves are rotting off. So this lets me know that it has been overwatered. It's probably experiencing a little bit of root rot, and the potting mix that it is in is probably a little too heavy for it. So we're going to go ahead and get it moved over. So I went ahead and rinsed out one of these pots. I think this is a 4 or 5 inch pot, but this is just a little clear plastic nursery pot. And we are going to repot this one into here and then use one of my hanging planters. I get these hanging planters from Amazon. This is the little bit smaller size. I think these are the 5 inch, but I will go ahead and link these in the description for you guys in case you are interested. All right, guys, and for this repot, we are going to be using my chunky soil mix. And as you can see, there is a lot of different ingredients in this mix. It has some leca in it, some different sizes of perlite, some orchid bark, tree fern, worm castings, and potting soils. So this just has a lot of different ingredients in it. I use this for a lot of my plants. So like most Hoyas, the Hoya Compacta does prefer a well-draining soil mix. So as long as you repot it in something a little more aeration, it should do fine. I don't like to use straight potting soil on my Hoyas. I do like to mix in at least a little bit of perlite or bark just to help it get a little bit more aeration on those roots. So let's go ahead and get this guy repotted today. I'm super excited to have this one in my collection. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys. So we are going to start by getting this little hanger off the pot here. So these have little clips on the sides, so you can just squeeze them off and they come off pretty easily. So set that off to the side. All right, so let's go ahead and squeeze the sides here and try to loosen this guy up. Trying to be as careful as possible. I got this plant probably about a week ago and it still feels very wet. So I know this guy is desperately needing a repot and hopefully it will do much better in a well-draining soil mix. I don't really like to repot plants too soon after buying them just because there's always a risk of shock. So a lot of plants will experience shock when you repot them, but if a plant is in bad shape, I feel like it's always best to just go ahead and take that chance and get it moved into something a little better. All right, so it is out of the pot and it is still just super soaked in here. It is so wet. So I think this is a regular potting mix that it is in. It does look like there is some little pieces of perlite, but again, this is very dense. So most Hoyas do like to dry out and do not like to be in this heavy of a mix. So I probably water most of my Hoyas every 7 to 10 days. And I do let a lot of my Hoyas dry out. I know there are some Hoyas that do not prefer to dry out, but I find that most Hoyas do like to dry out a little bit. Some even say that if you let your Hoyas dry out more frequently, that it even can encourage blooming. So always worth a try, I guess. So I'm just taking my fingers and kind of just tickling the root system a little bit here, just getting everything loosened up so we can get this guy repotted. I don't want to disturb it too much, but in order to get it into a better mix, I am going to have to get most of this soil off of the root system since it is going into a potting soil mix. I don't think it's necessary to get all of the soil off, but I'm going to go ahead and get most of it off. So I heard that a lot of people were finding these Hoya Compactas in Lowe's by Costa Farms and that they were in really big hanging baskets. And I have saw that a lot of people have found some really pretty hanging planters of this plant. All right, so there is a look at the roots. The roots don't look too bad on this guy. But as you can see, there are a lot of leaves rotting off and yellowing, which is letting us know that it is getting too much water. So that's one way to tell if your Hoya is getting too much water, if the leaves have a soft, mushy appearance or they're yellowing off like this, that is usually a pretty good sign you are overwatering. So that's how I determine if a Hoya needs to be watered a little less frequently. Just kind of take a look at all the roots on each of these little cuttings and see what they look like and clean them up a little bit. I was really nervous to get a Hoya Compacta because they have these really curly leaves and they just always looked like a pest magnet to me. Like I could just see a whole bunch of muleys just hiding in the little crevices. So I've actually passed this one up a lot. I have found them in my local nursery a few times, but that nursery was kind of an outdoor nursery, so I felt like it was way riskier to get a plant from them. Because this one was only $16, I figured it was worth a try and I will just grow it and see how it does for me. But I will keep you guys updated. Yeah, let me know if you guys have a Hoya Compacta, and I'm curious to know if that is just me being paranoid or if it's actually true that these are a little bit more of a riskier Hoya. So let me know in the comments. This one does have a little bit of mushy roots on it. Go ahead and pull that one off. I would say for the most part, the roots are looking really healthy on this one. So I'm super happy that it's looking pretty healthy. There's a piece that looks like it rotted off. So there are a few pieces that didn't make it, but for the most part, it's looking pretty healthy. Oh, these are kind of hard to untangle. They get wrapped around each other. This root system's looking really healthy on this one. Aw, this little guy broke off. I might go ahead and propagate this one. I'm trying to be careful, but I'm trying to be as delicate as I can be, but sometimes it's just not that easy to get a plant like this untangled. Try to loosen this guy up a little bit better so we don't end up breaking off another piece. But let's see here. Here's a little bit more of a rotted cutting. This one looks pretty good. This one's growing. It looks like that middle part started rooting, so I'll probably have to use some clips and kind of pin that down there when we get it in the new pot. Yeah, these little crevices are kind of easy to get dirt into as well, so this one's looking pretty good. So yeah, guys, for the most part, all of these cuttings look pretty good and healthy. All the root systems look really good. I did find a few rotted pieces in the potting mix, but for the most part, most of these cuttings look really healthy, so super happy about that. Let's go ahead and get this mess cleaned up and I will pop back on here and we will get this one repotted. All right, guys, so I went ahead and cleaned off my potting mat and we have a little bit more space to work here. So again, this is just a clear nursery pot. It has some holes in the bottom. And we're just going to go ahead and use our chunky mix here and get this guy repotted. And again, I'm not going to wipe off all that soil. Leaving that soil on there should be okay since we are putting it into another soil mix. There looks like there's nothing wrong with the soil it was in either. So go ahead and fill in the bottom. And when you repot, you do want to use a little bit smaller of a pot. You don't want to go up too much in size. these Hoyas do prefer to be a little bit root bound. So I'm just going to go ahead and start taking my cuttings and arranging them in here. I kind of want the longer pieces more on the outside, and I will just put the shorter pieces in the middle. So let's go ahead and find some of our longer pieces. A Hoya like this isn't always the easiest to repot, just because you have to arrange the cuttings and get everything just so. All right, go ahead and tuck that root in. So I'll go ahead and fill it in just a little more. Kind of give it a tap. Go ahead and arrange some more of these cuttings in here. I'm so excited for this one to grow out. I think when it gets big, it's going to look so pretty. Let's go ahead and tuck these in here. So I'm going to do my best to arrange these. I might go ahead and prop up a couple of these little cuttings too if I can't get them to fit in the pot. So it's looking pretty full. Might prop up this guy. That one I might end up propping that one. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more of our potting mix. I'm just going to use my finger to fill in these little air pockets on the side. Now this potting mix does have leca in it. I'm not really a fan of leca, but this specific mix that I have does have leca in it, and that should be okay. Grab a little bit more of our soil mix. I'm trying to avoid getting the mix in the little crevices of the Hoya. It's pretty easy to do, but I'm trying my best to avoid getting it in there. This is actually a little bit more of a difficult Hoya to repot since it is super textured. I'm going to go ahead and give that a tap, kind of just shake that in around those roots. And again, I'm just going to use my finger and kind of compact that soil down. It's looking pretty good. I think I can tuck a few more little cuttings down in here. So let me just grab a couple more smaller pieces. We're just going to tuck those roots in. See if there's any openings. That side looks pretty full. Let's go ahead and tuck this one over here. So when you get to the top, it's almost like this soil mix is a little too chunky. So I am trying to grab a little bit of the less chunky part of the mix. Fill that in. This is so pretty. Go ahead and fill that part in. You do want to be sure you fill in all these little air pockets. It's a little hard to get to. I'm taking out any pieces that are a little bit long or pokey. Just be sure when you're repotting to kind of just tap the pot. That way the soil just settles in a little better. I find if I don't do that, then I just have a bunch of air pockets, especially in the middle where it's harder to see, or if you're using a pot that isn't clear, it's a little bit harder to see that you're filling in all the air pockets. So I like to just give it a little squeeze and a little tap as I go, just to make sure everything is super compacted. It's looking pretty good, guys. So there it is. It's super full, and I actually have a few cuttings over here left over that I'm going to prop up with you guys. So let's go ahead and give this guy a water. All right, let's go ahead and set this guy in this little pot. And I went ahead and grabbed my watering can, so we're just going to go ahead and give this guy a water. Just being careful. This will probably do better with bottom watering because it is easy to get the water in between the little crevices of the plant. So I think this one will prefer being in a planter like this. That way you can just bottom water it. So you can just fill up this container with water down in the bottom. And then these little strings here on the bottom will just take up water when the plant needs it. And this is great for this type of Hoya since it does have all these little crevices. The water does get stuck in those leaves, and that might actually be what is causing these to rot off as well. So I think a Hoya Compacta will do really well in a self-watering planter like this. And again, I do get these from Amazon. I will be sure to link these in the description for you guys. So this one is good to go. I'm going to go ahead and hang it in my east facing window, and I will let you guys know how this one ends up doing. But let's go ahead and prop up those extra pieces together really quick. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and just do a little experiment here. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this one that has kind of like that weird thing going on where it's growing roots in the middle and just pot it into this little 2.5-inch pot. I'm going to go ahead and just keep it in this chunky mix that we potted the other one in. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up, and then we will pot this guy and see how it does. So we're going to go ahead and add our mix to the bottom here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and wind these roots up and tuck it in here. But I think this will make a cute little plant. So maybe I'll end up listing this in my shop if it does well. But these are just our extra little pieces that we had left over. So why not make another little plant from it? So I'm just going to use my finger again to kind of get in here and fill in those air pockets. This mix is super chunky, so I am going to take out any of those bigger pieces. Just go ahead and make sure all of the roots are tucked into the soil. All right, so that middle piece is kind of poking up here. So I'm gonna go get a clip real quick and we will pin that one down. Ahead and grabbed a little strawberry pin, and you can get these on Amazon. I will put the link in the description for you guys. But I'm just gonna go ahead and use that pin, and just where those roots are in the middle here, I'm just gonna pin these down so they're touching the soil. Just add a little bit more soil, make sure all those roots are covered. Give it a little tap. Brush that off to the side. So that is what it looks like. This little piece did end up popping up here. So this was the little node that was attached to the root. So hopefully we'll get some new growth from there. This part with the roots is pinned down with a strawberry pin. See how this little guy does? Let's go ahead and get him watered. But there is this little guy. I'm going to go ahead and put him in the prop cabinet and we will see how he does. So hopefully we'll have a little baby plant here. So let's go ahead and prop up that cutting that broke off while we were repotting the other plant. Here we have that little cutting that broke off when we were repotting the bigger plant. It does look like it has a few nodes on it. It looks like the new growth is coming from this point. So we're going to go ahead and prop this guy up. So to prop this up, I'm going to be using these clear cups. And I do like to reuse these. So I went ahead and rinsed these out. This cup has holes in the sides and the bottom. And we just set this in the cup without holes like so. And this creates a little self-watering planter. To prop up my Hoyas, I use a perlite and tree fern mix. So I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this into the cup with holes. And usually the tree fern will have some bigger pieces like this, and I just break them up and kind of leave it in there. I just have found that my Hoyas really like tree fern, so I try to add a little bit to my mixes. So here is what it looks like. The new growth is coming from the top. I'm just going to go ahead and dip this stem into our rooting hormone. So I'm going to go ahead and dip that into this rooting hormone till I get a little bit on the bottom of the stem. Then I will place that into the perlite mix. And then I'm going to take my strawberry pin and kind of pin that down. I might need to add a little bit more perlite. Go ahead and add some of that perlite mix and make sure that that bottom node is touching. Now this will be my first time propping up a Hoya Compacta. So I'm hoping this method will work, but if you use a different method, go ahead and let me know in the comments. And once we have that pinned down, we will go ahead and give it a water. And I like to just water until I can see it come through to the bottom. So we have a little bit of water down there. And there you go. So this is our little Hoya cutting. Hopefully this one will root okay. I will keep you guys posted on how this method works. If you have a different method that you like to use for propping up your Hoya Compactas, go ahead and let me know in the comments. So here is a final look at our little Hoya props. I will keep you guys updated on how these do. Yeah, guys, let's go ahead and move on with today's video, and I will talk to you here soon. All right, guys, so I went ahead and moved that Hoya Compacta over here into my east-facing window. I just wanted to show you guys how cute it looks in this little pot. I think this is going to be a super beautiful plant, but I will let you guys know how this one does. All right, guys, so that wraps up today's video. I hope you enjoyed unboxing some new Hoya with me and doing some plant chores. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you aren't a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you guys so much for being here, and I thank you for all of your support and helping grow this channel. I have so much fun recording these videos for you guys. So if you have made it to the end of this video, go ahead and leave me a heart emoji. And if you haven't already, be sure to check on my Patreon, where you can get exclusive content and early access to a lot of my YouTube videos and behind the scenes content you won't find anywhere else. So that's all, guys. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.